We had Bobby Lashley falling out of the ring after a rope break incident. A lot of backstage news for WWE and AEW. This is Restaurant bringing you today's top 5 wrestling news and rumors. So drop a like, hit those notifications, and let's get right into it. We had Bobby Lashley involved in a singles match against Drew McIntyre at a WWE live event in England. Bobby Lashley ended up taking a nasty fall, as at one point during the match, he attempted to hit a power slam on Drew McIntyre, who avoided it by pushing him towards the ropes. The two ended up hitting opposite sides of the ring to get some running speed to go for a move, but as soon as Drew McIntyre touched his side of the ring, the third rope ended up snapping, causing Bobby Lashley to bounce over the outside of the ring. The whole incident was recorded by multiple fans in attendance. It definitely didn't look pretty, especially for Bobby Lashley, but the good news is that he is okay. He took to Instagram to confirm that he's unstoppable and that he is good even though he flipped over. Again, nasty spot, just showing that anything could really happen in there in that ring. Following the incident, they finished the match and Bobby Lashley was still going, so again he was fine. A bit of controversy in regards to NXT right now, as former WWE superstar Ember Moon ended up detailing a story about NXT women being told to dress sexier for television, especially in preparation for NXT 2.0. FIFO indicates these meetings were held under the guise of quote-unquote fashion consulting. One talent said it was implied that they should also dress sexier backstage. Several roster members were said to not be happy with the meeting and blamed it on John Laurinaitis gaining power following Triple H health scare, which ultimately removed Triple H from NXT. Ember Moon specifically stated that the female were encouraged to basically wear things that are more revealing, and they even reference Mandy Rose as how they should be dressed, again in preparation for rebranding NXT as NXT 2.0. This apparently led to several WWE stars reportedly refusing to go to talent meeting because they didn't want to hear stuff like this, as Ember Moon stated, and some people were very uncomfortable with that, as they were like, no, this is what we want and you have to do it. It didn't matter how that person felt, and I was like, this isn't what I signed up for anymore. This isn't about the wrestling. This isn't about the art that we create in the ring. This is turning into everything that I left on Raw and SmackDown. And that really sounds like a really good explanation, because NXT is not really NXT anymore, and we have said it in the past before that it's just more similar to Raw and SmackDown at the moment. Not saying that that is a bad thing, it's just that now NXT doesn't really differentiate itself from the main roster as much as it used to in the past. She also ended up confirming a lot of previous reports that AEW was basically not allowed to be mentioned in WWE Backstage. The wrestlers were basically banned from talking about AEW, about the product and how they were doing things, because WWE didn't want them to be quote-unquote watching the competition, which, as Ember Moon explained, it didn't really make sense because they are the competition and you want to be better than them, so it would be a good thing to watch it to basically do better and outshine them. All of this is probably something that is still going on backstage, where any type of WWE official does not want to hear that AEW words being dropped. As we are on the topic of NXT, according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, there is talk of bringing NXT 2.0 back to Full Sail University. Of course, since the pandemic, they rebuilt the Performance Center, so they've been there for quite a bit now. I would love to see this change happen and see if there's a change when it comes to the crowd. I don't think it will go back to the black and gold era though. Alexa Bliss ended up revealing that she is ready to go and that she is just waiting for WWE's phone call. So WWE, what are you waiting for? She indicated that she has been ready to go since before the Saudi Arabia event. Last bit of news we're talking about is some more WWE versus AEW, as according to Sports Illustrated, last year Tony Khan did find out that it is true that WWE wanted to work with New Japan Pro Wrestling and that Nick Khan was really trying to establish a working relationship between them. them. But the reason why it didn't happen was basically because New Japan Pro Wrestling wanted to work with AEW instead. According to the Tony Khan trusted contacts in New Japan consider AEW to be a priority when it comes to having a working relationship instead of WWE. That report also says that New Japan officials not only knew about but encouraged Tony Khan's promo on Nick Khan from last May, where he ended up referring to the WWE president as some conman from Connecticut. And Tony Khan basically saying that there is only space for one Khan in the pro wrestling industry. So all of this is very interesting. It looks like last year, it is true, WWE wanted to come up with something and work with New Japan Pro Wrestling, but ultimately they chose to work with AEW. So that is all the latest wrestling news. So make sure to subscribe to keep up to date. Stay savage, and I'll catch you on the next one.